Hey y'all, it's Heel Heat time.
Hi everybody and welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles and this is our NXT show for the week. Let's jump right into it. First match we have Colin Cassidy with Enzo Amore versus Sylvester Lefort with Marcus Louis. Basically we know we're setting up an eventual tag match between these four guys. Cassidy and Enzo, ever since Enzo's return, I think personally they've been on fire. Enzo's only returned a couple weeks, but Cassidy himself has been as well. A very quick match for Cassidy picking up the win. Just an impressive guy. An impressive build, an impressive stature. Add in the Enzo Amore factor, who has more charisma than 95% of the wrestlers in the world. And I think you're going to have a very entertaining team going forward. Coming off of that, we got Sasha Banks and Charlotte, the remnants of the BFFs, versus Becky Lynch and Bayley. A decent match. The Sasha Banks and Charlotte pick up the win. Kind of weird and I'll explain this in a second. They pick up the win, however, after the match they try to jump Becky Lynch, but they get thwarted by Bayley, or Sasha Banks tries to attack Becky Lynch and she's thwarted by Bayley. However, it was just a weird thing because later they go into the locker room. You see Charlotte tell Sasha she wants to try a singles route, which effectively breaks up the BFFs altogether. To me, if they were going to do that, they should have used the opportunity to build the other two girls, not have the other two lose. But I guess I'm just different. Either way, a good solid match. Just the aftermath wasn't something I wasn't a fan of. Now, coming off of that, our next match was CJ Parker, who is kind of playing a hippie, save the world gimmick. If you haven't seen it yet, he's a guy. If you've been watching since the WWE Network started, he's a guy that's been picketing with the signs of the crowd. He wrestles a guy named Steve Cutler, which most likely is a guy newer to the NXT developmental system. And he's going to be used rather sparingly coming forward until, he'll probably get repackaged and gimmicked and put on their show at some point. But this was more of a showcase for CJ Parker, who I thought did a good job. Now, the reason, I don't know if you guys noticed I was fumbling with my phone there for a second, is I wanted to bring something up. And I don't know how well this is going to catch it on the screen. But I was thinking as I'm watching it, CJ Parker, why does that sound familiar to me? And this is off of Wikipedia. I'm going to try and get it close to the screen so you can see. Hopefully it picks up and it's not reading that. But if not, Wikipedia or search CJ Parker. If you've noticed, that was the name of Pamela Anderson's character on Baywatch. Now, to a man of my age, I'm in my late 30s, I think all of my generation watched Baywatch. Suffice to say, we didn't have the internet as much then, so to put this in a PG way, that's how we looked at women, was on Baywatch. And it was an okay show. It was cheesy and goofy. But I just wanted to bring that up because I thought it was really funny that they would use her name as a wrestler's name. I don't know if anybody has caught it yet. But I've been hearing his name, and I've always thought about, where have I heard this before? Where have I heard this before? And then it dawned on me that it was from Baywatch. But anyway, I digress. Coming off of that, we had a very good sit-down interview with Tyson Kidd and Renee Young, kind of fleshing out his heel character and making it... I think this is the best work that Tyson Kidd's ever done. I think him actually having character development is going to help his career 1,000 times over. And we see him coming out seconding Justin Gabriel in a match versus Sami Zayn. Zayn picks up the win. After the match, Kidd attacks Zayn. Gabriel gets in the ring. He looks like for a few seconds he might stop Kidd, but then he joins in. So now we have Tyson Kidd and Justin Gabriel realigned with each other, which I thought as a tag team they were great. Unfortunately, injuries split them up. However, them coming back together to me is very exciting. I think they're going to make a great team going forward. We had Adrian Neville comes out and makes a save on Sami Zayn, which I'm sure they'll do that as some kind of tag match in the near future. But a lot of good revelations coming from the show. Gabriel turning heel, joining Tyson Kidd. Sami Zayn picking up a big win. CJ Parker actually wrestling. Sasha and Charlotte breaking up what's left of the BFFs. Big Cass and Enzo continuing the steamroll. Very good show overall. Which is going to bring us into our top 5 prospects for the week. Number 5, Sami Zayn. And he slipped a little bit, not necessarily for anything that he's doing, but more so for what everybody else is doing ahead of him. I love Sami Zayn. If you were to ask me who my favorite wrestler on the NXT roster is, I would say Sami Zayn. However, there are a couple other guys that I think, or a couple other acts that I think fit better with what the WWE does, if you follow what I'm saying. Which leads us to our number 4. I've been gushing over them all show and probably for the past couple weeks. Colin Cassidy and Enzo Amore. Like I said, their act is so fresh and refreshing. Enzo has enough charisma to carry the team. Big Cass does as well. He also has he's also a 7-foot guy that can move around in the ring, which we're seeing more and more of this in this age with guys like Rowan and Harper, guys like him, guys like Roman Reigns, guys who were traditionally large, big guys, big, unmovable masses are starting to get more and more mobile, which always going to lead to a better product. Next up, our number 3, Charlotte, probably the best of what they have in NXT as far as a diva. I don't think we're going to go to the end of 2014 before she's called up to the main roster. Her in-ring ability is evolving so rapidly that she's only been wrestling for 2 years, and she's already, I would say, one of the top 5 wrestling females on the WWE roster. I mean, the only ones I could literally think I would put ahead of her would be Paige, AJ Lee, Tamina Snuka, and Natalie Neidhart. Now, if we notice a trend, 2 of them are also second-generation stars, much like Charlotte. So maybe that has a lot to do with it, what's in her DNA. But I think she's absolutely one of the best divas they got in all of WWE. Next up, we have our number 2, Tyler Breeze. I've said it before and I've said it again. He reminds me of a young heel Shawn Michaels with a little bit of his own style mixed in, a little bit of Derek Zoolander from the movie Zoolander. I think he's a great character. I think there's big, big things in the future for this kid. And our number 1, they've been number 1 since I've started the show. I don't know why the reason is that they're still on NXT and not on Monday Night Raw every week, and that's the Ascension. Every once in a while, you get a tag team that comes along that just blows you away. Teams like the Motor City Machine Guns, the Dudley Boys, the Legion of Doom, to a certain extent, the Rockers, the Eliminators, teams that you just look at and go, wow, this team is meant to be a team, and this is what tag team wrestling is about. And the Ascension is one of those teams. I think they're absolutely amazing. I really don't understand why they haven't been called up as of yet. But basically, that's all I have to say about that. My name is George Coles, and this has been another episode of Heel Heat.